Na program zaprasza Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego.
Poland Daily Business Edition. Welcome to our show tonight. Mateusz Walewski of BJK, Chief Economist of the bank. Sir, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
And the Polish economy, and you are looking from the very high level on developments here in the market. How the 2019 looks like?
We don't know, especially after yesterday events in British Parliament. We don't know how 2019 will look like in Europe. Especially for Britain. But for Poland, it looks like it should be a little bit worse year than 2018, but still quite okay. Still, the consensus of the economic forecast expects that the growth will be around 3.5% to 4%. Our forecast is 4%, and it's still above the potential long-term economic growth of Poland, which is about 3%. So we are still better than we are expected to be in the long term. Okay. So it's a good year.
Right. What will be the drivers of the growth in 2019?
Still, consumption is strong. We still expect that wages will grow dynamically due to tight situation of the labor market. Unemployment is very low. We expect investment to be quite dynamic. In fact, what is the most problematic is the export, the net export performance. We don't know what the situation in Europe will look like. In the global economy, and obviously the worst is the situation in global economy and Europe. The worst is the net export in Poland, and then it will also transfer to investment and consumption. But first, what will suffer is the export. So this is the biggest unknown of the Polish economy for this year.
Right. The exporters need to be prepared for the worst situation that will last for a year or two.
If you look at the last results of the PMI index, it shows quite strong downward trend, meaning that exporters mainly expect the situation will worsen. So this is in accordance with global expectation of the economic outlook, and especially after the yesterday vote. We have still a lot of questions regarding the global economy, the American-Chinese trade war, Brexit. These are the biggest issues. But
one would say there is nothing but questions in this regard.
Exactly. So in fact, we are at the end of the period of the long period of quite good global performance. So everybody expects that something will worsen, and obviously the optimistic scenario is that it will worsen in a smooth pattern. It will be just the economic slowdown. This is something everybody expects, and I think it will be good for the global economy and good for Poland also, because Poland is the part of the global economy. You can't help it. So it will be good for all if this smoothening will be as delicate as everyone expects it to be.
Yes, we love being part of the world economy, especially if the newspapers in the world say, "Please go invest in Poland." It's one of the few best places in the world.
Yes, Poland is very competitive still. We still have. Obviously, it's ending already, but we still have competitive wages. Productivity in Poland has been growing very dynamically over the last 10 or 20 years, and wages were growing not so quickly. So there's still a gain. So Poland obviously is attractive. It's part of EU. It's in the middle of Europe. The infrastructure is improving. Has been improving over the last year, so this is good place to invest. But obviously, everything depends on the global mood. If total investments and trade flows will be stopped for some reasons, no one will also come to Poland, because the decision will be made. There's just risk of stop investment, and Poland will suffer also.
Of course, but you mentioned that we are having very low unemployment in Poland. In fact, the employers want to hire new people and there is not enough people in the country. So how can we deal with that?
The unemployment in Poland is below 5%. This
Right.
is the historical law. And if you look at the numbers, of the comparable numbers for entire Europe, it's one of the lowest in Europe. So which is I think if anyone told me 10 years ago that Poland will have one of the lowest unemployments in Europe, I wouldn't believe it.
You would buy it.
I would buy it for sure, but I wouldn't believe it. In fact. So the situation is very good for employees, obviously, because for employers it's a very hard situation because they don't have people to hire. Obviously, we have like around 1 million or even more employees from Ukraine working in Poland. It improved the situation on the labor market. Quite paradoxically, we can also the situation can improve after quite some kind of no deal Brexit because people from UK, some people from UK can come back. Obviously,
there's another
on the balance, it wouldn't be good for the Polish economy and for European economy. But in this specific respect, it can be even good for the Polish labor market if these people come back because we don't know, in fact, what will happen. So no, there are already some employers which hire people not only from Ukraine but also from Vietnam, from East Asia countries. So we are very slowly beginning to be part of Western European world. Also from this point of view, the immigration to Poland is growing. It will be growing, and in fact we need it.
There are some anxieties about this, but it's not the topic of this conversation.
Yes, obviously, but from the economic point of view, we either have to react. I would say encourage people from UK, for example, or Germany to come back, or if we want to develop quickly, we have to accept Ukrainians, but also people from further countries. There is no enough Ukrainians willing to come to Poland.
Yeah, well, the key issue to me is the safety of the country, and that's something that sets us apart from the Western Europe that's not safe.
That's obvious. There's also in economics, politics, society. There are always trade-offs, and so we have to. It's our decision to what we will do.
Yeah, let us say, if this is our decision, which part of sectors of economy would you think are most prospective to be developed?
Currently, all the sectors related to exports and investments are most quickly developing. So if we look at the pace of growth sector by sector, obviously the construction currently is growing most dynamically. But we have also export sectors growing dynamically. It's furniture, it's food, it's machinery, it's automotive industry. It's logistics. Logistics is always booming when the economy is booming. So I would say there are no sectors that are not expected to grow. Maybe agriculture. Obviously, agriculture in relative terms, agriculture in Poland. If you look at the share of agriculture in GDP, especially in employment, it is the sector which will lose its meaning.
On the other hand, they want to move up the efficiency ladder and move away from the commodity to the products that are specific, local, that can achieve higher prices on the end customer market.
Yeah, but it also requires agriculture to increase its efficiency and to produce these kinds of products. Obviously, as in all of the OECD countries, so developed world, we expect sectors related to innovation to develop in Poland. Yes.
Generally, the prospect is not that bleak for 2019.
No, it's still if the economic growth in Poland is 4%, it will be very, very, very good, and we hope it will happen.
We will look at that very carefully, sir. Thank you very much for visiting the studio. Mateusz Walewski, Chief Economist of Big JK, was our guest, and that was it for tonight's Poland Daily Business.
Program powstał przy współpracy z Bankiem Gospodarstwa Krajowego.